Hello again and good evening from Wimborne Road, and after the wet and windy conditions of a fortnight ago, I'm pleased to say that the weather's brightened up in the intervening time here and we've got some bright sunshine at last. Although with the visit of the Oxford Silver Machine we could be expecting some wet weather again, because they seem to take the bad weather wherever they go, and they're coming to us tonight after 6 consecutive rain-offs on the road. Well, the Pirates haven't been entirely dormant in those 2 intervening weeks. Last week here at Wimborne Road, they had a challenge match with Swindon where they went down by 1 point. Also, they were scheduled, of course, to race at Bellevue on Monday, and that also was a victim of the weather, being rained out for a second time, and that schedule has yet to be put back into place for the replay. Well, tonight we can focus on the visit of the Oxford Silver Machine and 2 clubs who are really desperate to get the points this evening. Pirates, of course, because they're still consolidating their position on top of the Elite League, whilst the Oxford Silver Machine have played less games than any other team in the league, bar Bellevue. They are currently riding in 5th spot in the Elite League, and if they can pick up points tonight, then that obviously is going to help their cause to make sure they go into the playoffs too. Well, with the Pirates on top of the Elite League, does that mean now, with a 12-point advantage over their nearest rivals, Wolverhampton, that they feel maybe a little bit more confident about their chances in featuring in that playoff final?
Yeah, I think the whole team have feel that the whole season we have going really well here, so it's only we try to keep it up, you know, and can we have a couple of more wins and we'll be sure to end in the top.
Last week, of course, it was only a challenge match, but went down by 1 point. Was that a bit of a shock?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, of course there was. We have only lost 1 time so far this season, and but that was a match where everybody was testing some new things on the bike, I think. So, and you know, that's okay for the challenge match, but it's all time nice to win. So of course we would like to have done that, but it's not happened that night.
Yeah, that's right. It was one of those challenges, and it's always good to put them on just before we're going into the playoffs, and so, you know, because there is a lot of testing going on. So yeah, it was good.
So with testing out of the way, perhaps the Pirates now are really full on for a win this evening. Neil, I've got to say that the boys do look in good form. Obviously last week was a little bit of an upset, but as we've explained, with testing, now the Pirates are ready, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I wouldn't say it was an upset at all, really. I mean, it's obviously you want to win the home matches, but you know, quite rightly, you know, a couple of the boys were testing, and I say don't want to make it sound like excuses, but you know, that's the truth of the matter. But no, and then tonight, obviously Oxford, good looking outfit tonight. Okay, Ulamek's out, but that means that all the riders, all 6 riders, can take over for Sebastian. So you know, I think Sebastian got 8 down here last time, so they could well, you know, increase that score tonight. So they look very handy.
We're getting to a stage now where the Pirates must be thinking, okay, we must get so many points in the bag before we get to that unassailable position. Do you feel that, you know, a couple of wins now is going to do it, or are you going obviously all the way, but how do you talk to the boys about that?
Oh, you know, I said to them before the meeting, you know, just now I said, you know, we mustn't, I think I've said before, you know, we mustn't take our foot off the gas. We've got to keep winning as much as we can, because, you know, mathematically we can be caught by Wolverhampton, but, you know, it'd be interesting this evening, because I think they're racing at Arena. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. We'll be watching that score very closely this evening. But no, it's you know, we're still going for it.
Great job, and let's see you do it this evening.
Thank you.
Well, we've speculated about Oxford bringing the weather with them, and I've got to say, Travis, you must be relieved. 6 consecutive rain-offs in a row, and tonight at last the sun is shining.
Oh, definitely. It gets pretty tiring when you're driving around and for not actually getting any laps in. But it's looking good tonight, and it's going to be a tough one, but we're all up for it.
I know this is important for both clubs, but for Oxford, of course, you've got less matches in almost than anybody else, and you really got to get those points behind you. Although you are still sitting, despite the lack of matches, still sitting in 5th place.
No, we're sitting good. We're in a good position, but definitely the pressure's on, and we can't let have any little slip-ups. You know, we've got to make them count and try and keep it as close as we can tonight. If we can't get the win, keep it close, and hopefully get a bonus when it comes to our place.
Is it difficult when you get these lack of matches, and you said about the lack of laps, etc., getting the team to gel together and getting everything going, and really now, when we're heading into the playoffs, this is the most critical point?
Oh, sure. Everyone's getting faster and faster as the year goes on, and you know, maybe we haven't had as many meetings, but some of the other guys have been riding abroad and that, but I'm not doing nothing this year, so I've been struggling a little bit for me, you know, having the actual race experience. But you know, we work really well as individuals, and as a team we're even better, so we just need to keep our heads together tonight and go out there and do a job.
Okay, and of course a quick return, because we're back at your place on Friday.
Yeah, well, that's right. You know, we have a look tonight, and hopefully when we come back to our place, you know, we're all riding pretty well at Oxford, and you know, we can have a bit of a, you know, upset the apple cart there, so to speak.
Well, both teams obviously looking to try and get a lead this evening.
Oh, for sure. You know, it's a big ask coming down to Poole here. You know, there's no doubt about that. But, like I said earlier, if we can just keep it close enough so we can get the bonus, and we'll be happy with that.
Well, the sun really has come out to play this evening, and it's certainly going to dry the track out a little bit. There has been quite heavy rain during the day, and I've got to say that they held off watering. A little bit of watering took place just before start time this evening, just to get that final bit of moisture into the circuit. Well, tonight then, two teams really desperate to get those points, both really chasing a playoff position. Poole obviously in a commanding lead, and Oxford trying to make sure that they stay within the playoff zone. And who knows, Oxford could possibly be poised yet to cause an upset in the Elite League chase. Well, 15 heats of Speedway to come. We're going to serve them all up for you right now as we go and join Rob and Graham on the tower.
Well, thank you, Nigel, and thankfully we've got some late summer sunshine here at Wimborne Road this evening for this vital Elite League big fixture between the Poole Pirates and the Oxford Silver Machine. Magnus ZETTERSTROM has won the toss for Poole, selected the inside starts in the first race, which lines Bjarne PEDERSEN, the number 1 in the Pirates lineup, on the inside gate position number 1 in the red helmet then, and alongside him the pole coming in rider replacement for the absent pole Sebastian Ulemek out through injury. Rafal DOBRUCKI then in the green helmet. Green helmet goes on 2. We've got Krzysztof KASPRZAK on 3 and Travis McGOWAN on grid 4 in the yellow helmet. Away they go. Good start from Bjarne PEDERSEN. Krzysztof KASPRZAK deciding to slacken off and back onto the inside line. Knows how the track's going to be in the early heats, and that is no advantage to be too wide, and making a long straight there as he completes lap 1. Krzysztof KASPRZAK tucking in Bjarne PEDERSEN, shaping up for a maximum 5-1 best possible start for the Pirates here in race number 1. 2 laps completed, Bjarne PEDERSEN comfortably out in front. Track looking pretty comfortable so far, and in the yellow helmet we've got the Oxford Silver Machine young Aussie Travis McGOWAN, Rafal DOBRUCKI, who is trailing somewhat at the back. He had a good Elite League A fixture here, but he's not looking too comfortable on the track so far this evening, but it's early days yet. But it looks very much as if the Pirates are going to take a 5-1 around the final turn. Bjarne PEDERSEN very comfortably in front, takes the checkered flag with ease ahead of his Polish team partner, and that's Krzysztof KASPRZAK. The solitary point for Travis McGOWAN, and a 5-1 start for the Pirates. On to Heat 2, the reserves race with Oxford tracking Jonas DAVIDSSON in the green helmet on grid 1. His brother Daniel, riding in the Poole colours, in the red helmet, goes alongside him in grid 2. For Oxford on 3, packing a punch at the number 7 position, Niels Kristian Iversen, the spectacular young Dane. And completing the lineup, Poole also packing a sting in the tail these days with Magnus ZETTERSTROM, the skipper, down at number 7. But who'll forget that 13 points he scored a couple of weeks ago. Will he do the same tonight? Away they go. He's got a good start from 4. Daniel Davidson's got a good one from gate 2. And around the first bend, it looks as if the Pirates could be on for a 5-1, although Niels Kristian Iversen has other ideas about that as he outpaces Magnus ZETTERSTROM down the back straight and sets off in pursuit of Daniel Davidson. Daniel takes a look over his left shoulder there, does not see Magnus ZETTERSTROM and decides he better get a move on, and he's got Iversen right up side his exhaust pipe, and this could be quite a match-up here. And Magnus ZETTERSTROM sitting comfortably in 3rd place, but it's Swede out in front, followed by the Dane, and maybe with a lap to go, Iversen is just settling for that 2nd place, because Magnus is having his own private battle at the back there with Jonas Davidson. But it looks as if the Pirates are going to take a 4-2, because around the final turn they go, and a win for Daniel Davidson. Niels Kristian Iversen 2nd for the Oxford Silver Machine, and Magnus ZETTERSTROM 3rd. 4-2, and a scoreline 9 to the Pirates and 3 to Oxford. Heat 3, and can the Pirates keep their winning start going? Plenty of momentum in Heat 3. They line up with Antonio Lindback on grid 1 in the blue helmet. He's got the young Aussie Ryan Fisher alongside him in grid 2 in green for Oxford. Matej FERJAN, are we going to see one of his jet-propelled starts? He's in the red helmet. He's on grid 3. And Rafal DOBRUCKI, the Pole, will be hoping to improve on his Heat 1 outing. He trailed off disappointingly. But what's in store for the Pirates this time? As we await the release of the tapes, off they go, and it's a good start from Matej FERJAN once again. And indeed, Antonio Lindback gets a good start. 2 Oxford riders trailing once again with Ryan Fisher there. His all-action and bustling style, but he'll do well to get back at the 2 Pirates. Matej FERJAN reported to be absolutely over the moon and extremely happy here at Poole. He likes the track, loves the support, and I think his liking following his reintroduction mid-season reflects fully in the scores that he's been notching up, particularly in the last few weeks. He's got that bike dialed into this Poole circuit, and he's away. And of course, since he's been paired with our Antonio has been notching up more than a few bonus points. So it's team riding all the way for the Pirates. 5-1 in that race there. In fact, I don't know whether Matej's bike just packed up on the line or whether that was a bit of team riding. I think it might have been a little bit of a bike problem, but fortunately he managed to get across the line in second place. So Antonio Lindback the winner. 5-1 to the Pirates. Third place to Ryan Fisher, and Rafal DOBRUCKI there unable to improve his form, so trailing in at the back. So at this very early stage, Pirates on to 14, Oxford just on to 4. So we're on to race number 4 with Magnus ZETTERSTROM lining up for his second race on grid 1, and on to the Dane Niels Iversen coming out. Ryan Sullivan going from grid 3, and Grand Prix A finalist from the weekend in Stockholm, Greg Hancock, goes from grid 4 in the green helmet. So quite probably, I think almost certainly say that these are the best 2 visiting riders, and they could get a 5-1 here if the 2 Pirates aren't sharp from the start, but Magnus ZETTERSTROM is, and unfortunately the rider in yellow there, Niels Iversen, does a loop-the-loop, and he's still on the track, earns himself an exclusion. Looks like they're going to be 3 riders only. So there'll be a short break here before we get underway again with 3 riders only. Well, it's good to see that Niels is up on his feet. It just explained to Greg Hancock there exactly what happened, although I'm sure we saw that, but we might just want to have another look at it. Let's see what happens there. You can see within a few yards of the tapes going up, he rears up very badly and just loses it completely. Fortunately, misses the other riders, but I'm afraid he's out of the restart. Okay, well, we're back on the line for the restart, and thankfully Niels Iversen is all in one piece, and he'll be ready for his next outing. Could possibly be a busy rider tonight if he hasn't caused himself too much mischief that time. But we just got Greg Hancock, and he was away like the wind last time. I wonder if Ryan Sullivan can hold him this time. Away they go once again, and this time Ryan Sullivan does get a much better start, and Greg Hancock sets off in pursuit as he rounds Magnus ZETTERSTROM on the first bend. So that restart there certainly paying dividends as far as the Pirates are concerned, because Ryan Sullivan now out in front, deciding to take a slightly tighter line around turns 1 and 2 that time, as he's faced with the prospect of a challenge from Greg Hancock. But at the moment it doesn't look as if Greg is going to be right up with Ryan. In fact, Ryan, if anything, is pulling further and further away, and that's good news for the Pirates fans, because Ryan has had some indifferent scores in recent weeks by his own very high standards. Nothing wrong with his inherent racing, it's just that with machinery being experimented with, and 1 or 2 other technical setbacks, Ryan's not been fully up at the top of the score chart, but he is there in race number 4 as he takes heat win ahead of Greg Hancock, and once again in the 3rd place, Magnus ZETTERSTROM. So 4-2 heat win for the Pirates, who have a comfortable lead at this stage. They're on 18, and Oxford back on 6 points.
Heat number 4, in red, Ryan Sullivan. So the full unofficial result of heat number 4 is a win in red for Ryan Sullivan, a time of 59.01.
On to heat 5, and the Pirates are 12 points in front at this early stage, but that lead will come under pressure this time because we've got a tactical ride by Oxford Silver Machine. They probably hadn't banked on bringing it in so early, but it's Greg Hancock in the black and white helmet going from grid 3. His team partner is Travis McGowan on the inside, and the 2 Pirates who will be trying to stop Greg's attempt to get 6 points, and maybe his team's attempts to get an 8-1, which will make a big hole in that 12-point lead. And trying to stop that will be just the pairing for Poole. They got a 5-1 first time out. Matej FERJAN, he's in the red helmet, goes just inside of Greg on grid 2, and Antonio Lindback, who goes from grid 4. So tactical ride then, as they get away from the tapes, and it's a good start by Matej FERJAN and Greg Hancock on the first bend. Greg Hancock going right around the outside there. Matej FERJAN on the inside line, and Hancock gets 6 points if he holds this lead, which looks quite possible. The Pirates at the moment looking down the barrel of a, let's see now, oh, no, it looks like it could be challenged by Antonio Lindback. If Antonio can come through, which he does indeed, they'll make it a 6-3 reversal instead of 7-2, but I don't think they're going to do much about Greg Hancock. He really turned it on the first bend there. He got a good start off grid 3, and although Matej FERJAN is very usefully up the scoring these days, he couldn't do much about the Americans' first bend speed, and Matej has to hold on, and this time it looks as if he does let his partner across the line first. In heat 3, I understand it was a loose plug cap that caused his slowing on the line, but that time I think it was intentional, and the Pirates get the 3 points. But with that tactical ride nomination, the Oxford Silver Machine gets 6, which moves the scoreline 21 to the Pirates and 12 to Oxford. So Greg Hancock, certainly a busy man tonight. 3 races on the trot, and here he is in green on grid position number 2. And he's already, well, he's lowered the colours of Matej FERJAN, but Ryan Sullivan was successful against Greg. Wonder if Bjarne PEDERSEN and Krzysztof KASPRZAK can do something this time. Possibly had Bjarne PEDERSEN had the inside grid on Greg, it might have been a better prospect, but nevertheless, we'll see what happens in this one. Could be very interesting on the first bend. So Krzysztof KASPRZAK then in the blue helmet goes from the inside position. Greg alongside him. Bjarne PEDERSEN on 3, and completing the lineup in this race in the yellow helmet is Jonas DAVIDSSON. Greg Hancock, 6-pointer last time out. What can he do this time? Away they go, and he gets a very good start there, and it could be another 3 because he's scorched around that first bend there, and Bjarne PEDERSEN, although setting off in pursuit, he'll do extremely well to get anywhere near Greg, but of course these are 2 Grand Prix rivals, and Bjarne is in a very good form this year, right on the tail of the American, and Krzysztof KASPRZAK tucked usefully in 3rd place there for a potential shared race for the Pirates, but Bjarne PEDERSEN isn't going to give this one up easily. He's taking a slightly tighter line from Greg, and just remains to be seen now whether Greg makes a slip up. It would be most unusual because he's the consummate professional, and with a lap to go, Greg Hancock way out in front. It looks as if the Pirates are not going to extend their 9-point advantage at this stage, and around the final turn they go. It's going to make the scoreline 24 to the Pirates, 15 to the Oxford Silver Machine, as the point sharing burden falls heavily on the shoulders of Greg Hancock, and he responds to Nigel Wagstaff and the rest of the team in the way that we know he can.
I say at the Grand Prix on Saturday evening in Göteborg, where he now moves to joint second place in the standings with Lee Adams on 91 points. Going to heat number 6, it's Greg Hancock. So, as Greg has a lap of honour, we can give you the full and official result of heat number 6, which was a win in green for Oxford's Greg Hancock in the time of 58.50 seconds.
Well, we're on to race 7 with an opportunity for the Pirates maybe to think about extending their lead a little more, make it more comfortable, although 9 points is quite good. But of course, in 2 days' time, we've got the return leg up at Cowley, so the more points in the bag, the better for Neil Middleditch. And we've got Ryan Sullivan this time on grid 2 in the red helmet, and his partner Daniel Davidson on the white outside. We've got Ryan Fisher on the inside, Rafal DOBRUCKI so far yet to score on grid 3 as they are away, and Daniel Davidson gets a very good start from grid 4 and goes right around the field, and poor old Ryan Sullivan there once again trailing at the back there, and the 2 Oxford riders look as if they want to do a little bit of team riding. That's Rafal DOBRUCKI in yellow helmet and Ryan Fisher. So this is a bit of a topsy-turvy race. Daniel Davidson out in front, then it's the 2 Oxford riders and Ryan Sullivan there at the moment after 2 laps, not making too much of an impression on the Silver Machine, although he's coming right alongside Ryan Fisher, but the young American seems to just have a little bit too much pace for Ryan, and Ryan once again struggling this time. He, funny enough, he beat Greg Hancock, the only Pirate to beat Greg Hancock, and now he's struggling behind these 2. So a bit up and down, but thankfully Daniel Davidson got a jet-propelled start, and he took the race and shares the spoils with Oxford, moving the scoreline to Rias Pirates 27, Oxford Silver Machine 18.
Coming round the 42nd lap of honour, making him feel welcome with 3 more points safely in Davy Jones's locker. Ladies and gentlemen, in below, it's Daniel Davidson.
We're on to heat 8 now, and Nigel Wagstaff making another attempt to reduce the arrears with a tactical ride. This time it goes to the number 7 rider, Niels Kristian Iversen, who's on grid 1. His partner Travis McGowan goes from 3, and they're looking for a heat win here. We've got Magnus ZETTERSTROM on grid 2 for the Pirates, and Krzysztof KASPRZAK in the red helmet on grid 4. Can the Cheetahs slim down that 9-point advantage that the Pirates currently holding? We're about to find out as away they go, and this time it's a good start from Krzysztof KASPRZAK in the red helmet on the outside, and Magnus ZETTERSTROM there gives the Oxford riders the benefit of the outside line on the first bend and sneaks up on the inside, but Iversen got too much speed for him, but KASPRZAK's out in front, so this could potentially negate the tactical ride move by Nigel Wagstaff, because at the moment it's only a 4-4, and with Travis McGowan trailing quite disappointingly at the back there, it doesn't look as if that 9-point lead which the Pirates currently hold is going to be threatened in this race, because Krzysztof KASPRZAK, we know the young Pole, his liking for the track. Once he gets out in front, he's up and away, and Magnus ZETTERSTROM missed the consistency this evening with his third place of the evening, and in every race that he's been out in, the Pirates have won the heat, and that was no exception, although with the tactical ride, of course, it was squared up by Iversen. His 2 doubled up to 4, and it means that the Pirates total goes on to 31, and it's 22 to the Oxford Silver Machine. Some good speedway in that one. So it's heat 9 next, and we've got Greg Hancock out again for his 4th ride of the evening, but no tacticals this time, so it's level points. And we've got Matej FERJAN and Antonio Lindback for Poole. Matej on the outside, and Antonio on grid 2. Greg Hancock going from grid 1, and Jonas DAVIDSSON from grid 3. Now, I wonder what Matej FERJAN can do from the wide outside position. Could he swoop around this time and catch Greg unawares? Matej He's been getting some pretty useful gates, not only tonight, but in recent weeks. And what can he do this time against Greg Hancock, who's dropped his only point to Ryan Sullivan? In fact, Greg gets a flyer from gate 1 there. Matej FERJAN looks as if he wants to try his outside swoop, but unfortunately for him, Greg Hancock saw that coming, and he rode a very wide line. And Antonio Lindback there, very tight to the safety fence with Matej FERJAN, and the two Pirates there were not too far apart going down the home straight. But Greg Hancock's out in front, Matej FERJAN and Antonio Lindback dominating the minor places, with Jonas DAVIDSSON third ride and so far pointless, trailing at the back there. So with a lap to go, it looks as if it's going to be a share of the spoils again. And Greg Hancock in determined mood here tonight, going to take his total on to 14 from 4 with that tactical ride bonus. And the two Pirates there side by side. In fact, once again, Matej FERJAN allows his young team partner Antonio Lindback across the line for second place, and Matej settling for the bonus point. So 3 to each side, 34 points to the Pirates and 25 to Oxford Silver Machine. So can the 9-point lead be extended this time in race number 10? We've got just the pairing to do it, Bjarne PEDERSEN and Krzysztof KASPRZAK. They've dropped their only points to Greg Hancock so far this evening, otherwise unbeaten. And they're pairing up in the red and blue helmets on grids 2 and 4. Bjarne on the grid 4 position against Ryan Fisher and Rafal DOBRUCKI. Rafal DOBRUCKI is the rider in yellow on the inside. And it's a great start from Krzysztof KASPRZAK there from grid 2. And he came right across on his Polish compatriot, but opponent for this evening, Rafal DOBRUCKI. And in the meantime, Bjarne PEDERSEN was out of the gate like grease lightning from grid 4, and he's away out in front, disappearing into the night as far as the two Oxford riders are concerned, because they're trailing quite badly at the back there. The Pirates are romping around to a 5-1 this time, which may have thought was on the cards. Ryan Fisher and Rafal DOBRUCKI trying for all they're worth in third and fourth. No one can say there's any lack of effort. It's just that the Pirates are dialed into their home circuit and looking supremely confident here. And it's around the final turn. Bjarne PEDERSEN takes the checkered flag, and a little bit of a wheelie there. Krzysztof KASPRZAK to celebrate his paid win, and that takes his total on the evening on to 9 points and 3 bonus. So good payday for Krzysztof, and means that the Pirates move on to 39 points after 10 races. Oxford Silver Machine 13 behind on 26.
So as the boys celebrate, we can bring you the full unofficial result of heat number 10, kindly sponsored by Seaview Coaches.
Well, the Pirates go from 1 and 3 in Heat 11 with Ryan Sullivan. He's had a win and a last. Let's see what he can do this time. He's on grid 1 in the red helmet, and his young partner Daniel Davidson, who had 2 wins in the blue helmet, on grid 3. Nigel Wagstaff makes a change, bringing reserve Niels Iversen to replace Travis McGOWAN, who's a bit out of touch tonight, and Ryan Fisher in the green helmet comes in to take the rider replacement ride for Sebastian Ulemek. So he'll be on grid 4. That's how they line up then. Green lights on, off they go. Ryan Sullivan gets a good drive from gate 1 that time, and the only problem is that he didn't do his partner that time, Daniel Davidson, any favours on the first bend. He was a bit ruthless, but he certainly just blasted away from 1, and Daniel Davidson, who got a good start from 3, was left high and dry in no man's land, and that seems to have let the 2 Oxford riders in for second and third places. So although a good morale boost for Ryan Sullivan after that disappointing Heat 7, it certainly won't win any prizes for his team riding that time, and it means that the Pirates are not going to extend their lead this time, because it's got the hallmarks of a drawn race. So in the yellow helmet in second place behind Ryan, we've got Niels Iversen, and Ryan Fisher there in third place. Poor old Daniel Davidson there, didn't really do anything wrong, and after 2 wins, he trails in disappointingly at the back. And maybe a little glance up at Ryan when they get back in the pits might tell Ryan that, well, it's all right for yourself, mate, but it didn't do me any favours.
Looking forward, no doubt, to heat number 13. Full result to follow.
Well, let's have a quick look at that one again, because for all the wrong reasons, but Ryan Sullivan there, up go the tapes, and he gets a very good start, but he doesn't look over his shoulder, as you can see. Potentially Daniel Davidson there is ready to join in, but Ryan was just intent on getting away, and poor old Daniel had to ease the throttle back on the turn 2, and he finished last. We're on to heat 12, and with the 13-point lead now established, the Pirates will be looking to just increase that advantage slightly in the last 4 races. Starting with heat 12, when Matej FERJAN lines up from grid 1. He's just received a Riders Equipment Fund check for £500 during the interval, brought a big smile to his face. He certainly has re-established himself quickly here at his new home at Poole. He's on grid 1. Niels Kristian Iversen, a reserve change in for Jonas DAVIDSSON on grid 2. We've got Magnus ZETTERSTROM on 3, and Ryan Fisher on grid 4. Up go the tapes, and away they go. A good start from Matej FERJAN, and he scoots out in front. The 2 Oxford riders coming up in the minor places. So Magnus ZETTERSTROM quietly on the line there. Looks as if he's about to take the 3rd place of the evening. 3/3 already, and he's right in behind Niels Kristian Iversen on the inside line there, but I think the Dane's probably, just as he did earlier in the meeting, had a little bit too much speed for Magnus, and with Ryan Fisher really out of sorts tonight with just 3 points from 4 starts already, he's trailing right at the back. Magnus ZETTERSTROM then is going to be Mr. Consistency bring his tally to 4 points. Matej FERJAN is absolutely flying out in front, and he's just coming up to take the checkered flag, well clear of the field, to give the Pirates another win and a 4-2 race victory, which takes them on to 46 points. Oxford Silver Machine, with those 2 points from Niels Kristian Iversen in 2nd place, go on to 31. So the lead goes up to 15. Heat 13, Greg Hancock lines up from grid 1 in green, and alongside him we've got Bjarne PEDERSEN in red. Niels Kristian Iversen, 3 races on the bounce. He's in the yellow helmet on grid 3, and for good measure, 2 wins and a last place so far to his credit, including the only reversal for Greg Hancock, and that of course is Poole's Ryan Sullivan. He's on grid 4 then, as the tapes go up, and as a good start by Bjarne PEDERSEN from 2, gets right around Greg Hancock, and that's a superb first pen, and Ryan Sullivan coming through to challenge on the inside there. Greg Hancock in the yellow helmet. Looks like there's been a change of helmet colours, because it's Greg Hancock in yellow, and Niels Kristian Iversen in the green helmet trailing at the back. So Ryan Sullivan in 3rd place, tucked in behind Greg Hancock, but Bjarne PEDERSEN was absolutely determined to make the first pen there. He's already had 1 defeat by Greg Hancock. He didn't want another one, and of course it not only puts Poole in an even stronger position with the return match at Cowley in 2 days' time, but it also puts a little marker down by Bjarne to his Grand Prix rival Greg Hancock, and coming in to take the checkered flag. That's a great ride by Bjarne PEDERSEN, a very determined first bend. He leads home from Greg Hancock, Ryan Sullivan 3rd, and the reserve Niels Kristian Iversen right at the back. 4-2 to the Pirates, now extend their lead. Pirates on 50, Oxford 33.
Your applause for the winner of heat number 13 in red for the Rears Pirates, it's Bjarne PEDERSEN. That's quite visualised, isn't it? So the full unofficial result of heat number 13 comes sponsored by Mark Laramie, our schedule maker. Winning in red for the Rears Pirates, Bjarne PEDERSEN, the time of 59.28 seconds.
2 races remaining then. Penultimate heat lines up with Antonio Lindback and Daniel Davidson for Poole. Daniel on grid 1, Antonio on grid 3. Rafal DOBRUCKI and Niels Kristian Iversen for the Silver Machine on grids 2 and 4. This is, would you believe, Niels Kristian Iversen's 4th consecutive race. And it's a good ride by Daniel Davidson from the inside there in blue. And Antonio Lindback takes the wider line. And it's no surprise to see Niels Kristian Iversen right at the back, because although he's a lively performer, I think 7 races, 4 of them, the last 4 on the trot, is probably a bit of a big arse for him. And he's tucked in behind his team partner, Rafal DOBRUCKI, right at the back. So the Pirates there looking to take a very comfortable lead up to Cowley. They'll be certainly looking to consolidate the bonus point. And although we can expect some of these Oxford riders to perform a lot more sharply on their own track, there's distinct possibility that the Pirates could wrap it all up with an away victory. They already took the points on their Elite League A travels to the Cowley circuit, and with a 5-1 here in Heat 14, the pointers are that maybe on Friday evening, barring any mishaps, they could very well do the same. So a fine win for Antonio Lindback, and good bit of team riding that time for Daniel Davidson with his partner there, and that enables them to take that 5-1. Rafal DOBRUCKI 3rd, Niels Kristian Iversen rather tailing off, and it's 55 points to 34 with 1 to go. So here we have a big Heat 15 to round everything off, and the Oxford Silver Machine win the toss, take 1 and 3, and Greg Hancock lines up on pole on grid 1 in the green helmet. Pirates have nominated Bjarne PEDERSEN and Ryan Sullivan for their contestants in this one. Final race of the evening, 55-34 the scoreline. Bjarne PEDERSEN on 4 in blue. Ryan Sullivan goes from grid 2 in the red helmet. Let's see if he can make an impression on Greg. And was Greg on grid 1. Rafal DOBRUCKI, the pole, who's been a little bit up and down this evening. He goes from grid 3 in the yellow as on comes the green light. And away they go. Greg Hancock absolutely launches himself out of grid 1 there. Ryan Sullivan really had no chance to do anything about that. But Bjarne PEDERSEN had the better first bend, and he goes right around the outside. Superb speed, drifting a little bit wide on turn 4 there, but only because he was flying, and Greg Hancock having a little bit of a dig on the inside. But at the moment he's watching the Dane disappearing in front of him, although he's coming back to make an inside challenge. But Bjarne just holding on, and of course Ryan Sullivan, while this is all happening out front, is trailing behind DOBRUCKI at the back there, but trying to make a challenge up the inside on the pole. Meantime, out in front, it's where the race is, because Bjarne PEDERSEN and Greg Hancock. Bjarne takes a slightly tighter line that time. Greg's deciding to try the outside line, switches back to the inside line. Bjarne PEDERSEN getting the race of the evening here, and takes the checkered flag. A great